What's up guys? So welcome back to my chemistry class once again with your Sakshi ma'am, right? So guys, this time since we have covered lots of theory part in the chapter mole concept, which is also known as some basic concepts of chemistry, right? This time, as per you can see on the screen, I have decided to teach you something related to JEE Mains pattern exercise, right? So the way you would have seen the CBSE questions that I discussed with you, now in the same way I was planning to discuss certain questions from JEE Mains exercises as well. Okay, and for that I have picked up 10 different questions. Some of the questions are those which have already been asked in JEE Mains, and some of the questions are like up to exactly the level of JEE Mains, which are probable to be asked in the upcoming exams, right? So they may have been asked in other examinations, so I have clubbed up all the questions and I am bringing the questions for you. So without wasting any further time, let me directly come on to question number 1 for you. So the question number 1 that I have got for you people is the ratio of masses of oxygen and nitrogen in a particular gaseous mixture is 1:4, right? That means the mass of oxygen with respect to that of nitrogen is 1:4, right? Can I simply say that the mass of oxygen will be X and the mass of nitrogen will be 4X, right? So I'm putting grams and I'm putting grams here, okay? Moving further, you need to determine the ratio of their molecules. So we just need to mention what is the ratio of their molecules. So guys, we know, right, what is the molar mass of oxygen? 32 grams per mole, right? And what is the molar mass of nitrogen? 28 grams per mole, right? So let us calculate the number of moles of oxygen in X grams of oxygen. So what will be number of moles of oxygen in X grams of oxygen? So I will say X gram to be divided by 32 gram per mole. Okay, guys, see, gram will get cancelled and the final answer will come out to be X by 32 moles. Am I right? So this is the number of moles of oxygen, right? In this similar fashion, I can also do number of moles of nitrogen, right? This time I want to find out the number of moles of nitrogen. So number of moles of oxygen I can represent like this. Number of moles of nitrogen will be, how much gram is the given mass? 4x grams. So it should be 4x grams to be divided by 28 grams per mole. Gram will get cancelled. This should be 7. So this will be X by 7 moles. Okay. So you remember, right? The question was number of moles of oxygen with respect to number of moles of nitrogen. Oxygen is what? X by 32. And nitrogen is what? Nitrogen is X by 7. So final answer will be 7:32, right? Let me rewrite it so that you do not get confused. Final answer will be 7:32, and let's now check whether we have got 7:32 as an option. 1:4, no. 7:32, oh my God. That's good, right? So we are now done with the very first question. Note down the question so that I can move on to the second question for you people. Note it down. Fine guys, so we were done with the first question. Now I want to move on to the second question. Let's do the second question now. Just give me a minute. So the second question which I have taken for you people is, okay, so the question is the molarity of a solution which is obtained by mixing. So there is a solution. You need to find out the molarity of the solution which is obtained by mixing 75 ml of 0.5 molar HCl with 250 ml of 2 molar HCl. Oh wow, that's simple, no? You are just having two different solutions and you are mixing the two. And since both the solutions are of HCl, so HCl will give 1H plus, similarly this will give also 1H plus, right? So how can I say the final molarity? You know, right? Molarity is equal to number of moles of solute by volume of solution in liters. Okay. So if I write for first solution, can I say total number of moles will be M1 times V1, right? Similarly for second solution, N2 will be M2 times V2, right? So what will be the final molarity? Final molarity can be written as M, and this can be written as the total number of moles N1 plus N2 divided by the total volume, which is V1 plus V2, right? So can I write the final molarity as M1 V1 M2 V2 divided by V1 plus V2, right? Okay. Guys, see, all the time I have been saying that the volume of the solution has to be written in liters. But see, if you are writing ml here, if you are writing ml here, so finally in the top you will be getting ml only, right? In the denominator also you will be getting ml. So ml will get cancelled. So whether you work with liters or you start working with milliliters, it's gonna be one and the same thing. So let us do the calculation. Molarity will be 0.5 into 75 to be added to 250 into 2, and the whole is to be divided by, okay. So guys, it must be, as per the question, it has to be 750 ml. I am changing the value. The question should be 750 ml because I am sure the options that are given, they are related to 750. So here also I am writing 750. So here I will be writing 750. Now I will tell you why I thought so. Because now he would have given us the final volume as 750 plus 250, which is 1000 ml. And here also it was ml into moles per liter. So molarity was in moles per liter and volume was in ml. So ml will get cancelled, and guys, if you solve it, you will be getting the final answer to be 0.875 capital M. You can try solving it because I solved it and I got this answer, right? So you can also try solving it and check the answer. Let's see the options. Oh wow. So A option is the correct option, right? So guys, this was pretty much simple, right? This was a question that was asked in JEE Mains. And now, having done with this question, I think we can proceed with the third question as well. Let me just prepare the board for you guys. Okay. Now, if I tell you the third question, let us read out the question carefully. The question says that the normality of 0.3 molar phosphorus acid. So here there are chances of you people committing the mistake. So let us do it carefully. The acid that is given to me is phosphorus acid. The formula is also given H3PO3, right? And guys, in the videos you have learnt, no, that normality is equal to molarity to be multiplied by n factor, right? So if you know the normality, you can be writing it as molarity into n factor. Now what is n factor? For any particular acid, for acids, the n factor is basically defined as the number of ionizable H plus, the number of ionizable protons, right? Like for example, consider HCl. The n factor will be 1. Why? Because here I have written H1Cl1, right? Consider H2SO4. What should be the n factor? N factor has to be 2 because we have written H2. Consider H3PO4. So the n factor will be 3 according to the formula, right? Similarly, if you go in this particular note, then you can say that for H3PO3, the n factor again that you will predict should be 3 because H3PO3 is there, right? But guys, for H3PO3, the n factor is not 3 but the n factor is 2. How the n factor is 2? Let us see. Whenever you have to draw any oxy acid of phosphorus, right? Oxy acids of phosphorus. That means where P double bond O bond is there, right? The skeletal structure first of all will be P, 1 double and 3 single bonds. Fine. Now see, we have, let us first do it for H3PO4. In case of H3PO4, I have 3 hydrogens, 1 phosphorus, 4 oxygens, right? Draw the structure. P, 3 single bond O, 3 single bond and 1 double bond. So 1 double bond should be coming with oxygen. OP is done. Now we have 3H and 3O. So put 1 OH everywhere. Okay. In the case of phosphorus acid, or let us say in the case of all the acids of phosphorus, the hydrogens which are attached to oxygens are the ionizable protons. So how many ionizable protons are there? 3. That is why n factor of H3PO4 is 3. Okay. Now on the similar basis, let us draw the structure for H3PO3. If I ask you to draw the structure of H3PO3, the structure will be something like H3PO3, right? P in the center, done. 1 O will form double bond, done, right? How many O's are there? 2. So 2 O will combine with 2H, OH, OH, and 1 H is left alone. So we will put 1 H here, right? So this is how we are done with the structure of phosphorus acid, right? And guys, now according to the same definition that I have written, there are only 2 protons which are attached to oxygen. So the number of ionizable. So guys, the number of ionizable protons in this structure is 2, right? And when it is 2, so our n factor will also be 2. And if the n factor is 2, put it here, 0.3 into 2. So the answer will be 0.6. 0.1, no. 0.9, no. 0.3, no. 0.6, awesome. Okay. So guys, this was how we were to do our question number 3rd also, which was regarding the relationship between molarity and normality. Okay. So I think we are done with this question as well. Let us directly move on to next question. By the time you can make some notes if you want regarding the structure and all. Okay. So moving on to the next question for you people, which is question number 4. And the question is dissolving 120 grams of urea. So we have got urea. Guys, although it is not required for this question, but the molecular formula of urea is NH2CONH2. Okay, you should be knowing the formula. The molecular weight of urea is given to be 60 grams per mole. Okay, now 120 grams of urea has been dissolved in 1000 grams of water. So you have taken how much urea? 120 gram of urea, and it has been dissolved in 1000 grams of water. Okay, and it gave a solution whose density of what? Density of urea solution. So density of urea solution is given to be 1.15 grams per ml, and we simply need to calculate the molarity of the solution, right? Okay, so how to begin up to find out the molarity of solution? Let's see. So how to write the molarity? First I'll start writing the formula. So molarity is equal to number of moles of solute, which is how much gram? 120 grams. By what is the molar mass? Whole to be divided by volume of solution in liter. Write it completely. Volume of solution in liters, right? Okay, can I simply write it as gram got cancelled? 2 moles to be divided by volume of solution to be written in liters, right? Now my aim is to figure out what should be the volume of solution in liters. If you know this value, you can easily find out what will be the molarity. Okay, let's see which all statements we have already used. I am just ignoring them. This is done, this is done. We are done with this, done with this, done with this, done with this, and we are done with this. Okay, so guys, we have 1000 grams of water and the density of urea solution is given to be 1.15 grams per ml. We need to find out the volume of solution, right? Can you tell me what will be the total mass of solution? So you can say, right, that the mass of solution will be equal to the mass of solute plus the mass of solvent. What is the amount of solute? 120 grams. What is the amount of solvent? 100 grams. So what should be the mass of solution? 1120 gram. Am I right? Okay. So we are done with the mass of solution also. Let me just remove this. Now having done with the mass of solution, the density, look at the density. Can I simply say 1 ml solution will be corresponding to how much grams of urea solution, like how much grams? 1.15 grams of solution. That means if I am talking about 1 ml of solution, its mass is going to be 1.15 grams, right? So if I am talking about 1120 grams of solution, what should be the volume occupied? The volume occupied will be 1 divided by 1.15 into 1120 ml. Okay, and if you write, this will come out to be approximately 974 ml. Again, I am a calculator, so I can easily calculate, right? So now you need to redo the calculations to check whether the answer is correct or not. Fine? But still we have not got our final thing. Come here. We need to write here the volume of solution to be written in liters. So when I am going to describe the volume of solution in liter, I will be writing 0.974 liters. Okay. Again, I am a calculator. I'll solve it and I'll get something around 2.05 molar. Okay. Let's see if there is an answer. 1.78. 2. 2.05, and that's correct. Okay. So guys, this was how you could have done question number 4. Done with this question, let us now move on to another question. Let me just clean the board for you. So you can read out the question that I'll be depicting on board. The question is, here is the question. The mass of Mg3N2 that will be produced if 48 grams of magnesium is reacted with 34 grams of ammonia gas, right? So finally I need to begin up with the equation. Mg plus NH3 to form Mg3N2 plus H2, right? Guys, see, although he has given you the equation, don't be so happy that wow, he has given us the equation. You need to make sure that the equation that is given to you has to be first balanced, right? So 3 magnesium, put a 3 here, 2 nitrogen, put a 2 here, 6 hydrogens, put a 3 here, right? Now I have got something as a balanced chemical equation. Okay? How much mass is given? 48 grams of magnesium and 34 grams of ammonia is given, and you need to produce the mass of Mg3N2, right? Guys, so first of all, in any such question, you should be predicting which is a limiting reagent, right? Let's see. Magnesium, what is the molar mass? 24, right? It is 24 grams per mole. So how many moles of magnesium will be there in 48 grams? So 48 grams divided by 24 grams per mole, which will come out to be 2 moles. Am I right? Similarly, look for ammonia. Ammonia is 14 plus 3, 17 grams per mole, and you are given 34 grams. So the answer is again 2 moles. Okay, so you are having finally, let us remove them out. You finally have 2 moles of magnesium and 2 moles of ammonia that are given to you. Okay, can I say according to the stoichiometric coefficient, 3 moles of magnesium needs how many moles of ammonia to react? 2 moles. 2 moles of ammonia are needed for 3 moles of magnesium to react. How many moles do I have? 2 moles. So for 2 moles of magnesium, we need how much ammonia? 2 by 3 into 2, which is something 4 by 3 moles. Okay. Now don't waste time in calculating the values of what is 4 by 3. You directly know, right? 4 by 3 will be something greater than 1, right? But not greater than 2. And how much ammonia do we have? We have 2 moles. How much we need? We need 1 point something moles. So don't you think we have ammonia given to us in excess? Okay. So if ammonia is given to us in excess, so now can I say that magnesium is going to be the limiting reagent, right? And if magnesium will be the limiting reagent, can I simply change out everything? Okay, so if magnesium is the limiting reagent, let us first figure out the mass of Mg3N2. So Mg3N2 will be 24 into 3, which is 72, plus nitrogen is 28. So let's say the answer will be 100 grams per mole, right? So the mass of Mg3N2 is 100 grams per mole. Can I simply say 3 moles of magnesium will be giving me Mg3N2 how much? 100 grams. 1 mole will give me 100 by 3 grams. However, if you have 2 moles, right, it will give us 100 into 2 by 3. That means 200 by 3 grams. Wow. Okay, so let's see if we have any option as 200 by 3. Oh my God, I'm lucky enough to get option number A as the correct answer. Okay, so guys, you can quickly note down this question as well so that we can then proceed on to question number 6. Okay, so guys, once we are done with question number 5, let me now move on to question number 6 for you. Let's say what is question number 6. Okay, so the board is ready, even the question is ready, so now you need to be ready for the question. The question is, what is the maximum amount of nitrogen dioxide? This word maximum is very important. That can be produced by mixing 4.2 grams of NO and 3.2 grams of O2. Okay, so I don't know what is to be done in the question. The only thing I am concerned about is writing the balanced chemical equation. Right? So we need to find out what should be the maximum amount of NO2 that can be produced by mixing 4.2 grams of NO and 3.2 grams of O2, right? Let us see how we can move on to the answer for this particular question. First of all, I'll ask you to figure out what is the molar mass of NO. NO will be 14 plus 16. That means 30 grams per mole. And O2 will be 32 grams per mole. Okay. Now let us find out how many moles are there in 4.2 grams of NO. So it should be 4.2 grams divided by 30 grams per mole. And if you do, the final answer will come out to be 0.14 moles. Okay. And how many moles are there of O2? O2 is 3.2 divided by 32, which will be 0.10 moles. Okay, so these are the number of moles that are given to me. Let us rewrite the equation. NO plus half O2 to form NO2, right? So guys, can I say 1 mole of NO needs how much oxygen to react? 0.5 moles of oxygen are required to react, right? How much do we have? 0.14 moles of NO will need how much? Guys, now listen carefully. 0.14 divided by 2 is not 0.70. It is 0.07 moles. Okay? And how much O2 is available to us? The O2 available is 0.10, which is way greater than 0.07, right? That means the oxygen which is given to us is given in excess. Cool enough? So if the oxygen will be given to us in excess, we can simply say that now NO will be the limiting reagent, right? So if NO is considered as the limiting reagent, let us try to concentrate on the molar mass of NO2. So NO2 molar mass will be found to be 14 plus 32, which is 46 grams per mole. Okay, now see, can I simply say where is my equation? Okay, that's the equation that I have. Can I simply say 1 mole NO will give NO2 how much? 46 grams, right? But I have only 0.14 moles of NO. So how much NO2 will be prepared? 46 into 0.14, and this will come out to be something 6.44 grams. I have done the calculation, so you can redo the calculation. Let's check. 4.60, not the option. 2.3, not the option. 3.2, not the option. 6.44, yes, the correct option. And hence we will choose this as our answer. Okay, so this was question number 6 that I did with you people. Now let us move on to another question, which is question number 7. So guys, let's see what is the question number 7 in store for you. Okay, so question number 7 is, which has maximum number of atoms? So we simply need to find out the maximum number of atoms are present in which of them. First is 24 grams of C12. We need to find the number of atoms, so be careful. Carbon 12 can be written as 12 grams per mole. Am I right? Okay. Iron can be written as 56 grams per mole, right? Then we have aluminium can be written as 27 grams per mole. And finally, we have silver that can be written as 108 grams per mole, right? So guys, can I now say 108 grams of silver will be having how many moles of silver? 1 mole. 1 mole silver means how many atoms of silver? N naught atoms of silver, right? Similarly, 27 grams of aluminium will be 1 mole aluminium atoms. That means 27 grams of aluminium will again be N naught atoms of aluminium. Okay. Moving further, 56 grams of iron will be again having N naught molecules. Okay. But 24 grams of carbon. So see, 1 mole will correspond to 12 grams. So 24 grams will correspond to 2 moles. That means now it will be having 2 N naught number of carbon atoms, right? That means making it a total of option number A as the correct option for this particular question number 7. Okay. Oh, finally we are done with the 7th question as well. Now it's the time to move on to question number 8. let us try to figure out what is question number 8. But before that, I need to clear the board for you. Okay. So now the board is done. I am done. Chalks are ready. Slide is ready. The only thing is you have to be ready for the question. Question number 8 says that equal volumes of 10% V by V HCl. I have HCl which is 10% volume by volume. Equal volume means I don't know what is given. So let me take just 100 ml of solution. Okay. Is mixed with 10% volume by volume NaOH solution. NaOH that is given to me is again 10% V by V, equal volume means I am taking 100 ml. If the density of, let's say this is, if the density of pure NaOH is 1.5 times that of pure HCl. So let's say density of HCl is d grams per ml. So density of pure NaOH will be 1.5 d grams per ml. So you need to tell when the solutions will be mixed with each other, whether the final solution will be acidic, basic, neutral, or you can't predict with the given data. Let's see what is to be done. So guys, what does 10% volume by volume solution means? 10% volume by volume means 100 ml of HCl solution has HCl how much? 10 ml. Am I right? Now the density of HCl is given to be d grams per ml. So don't you think if I multiply 10 ml into d grams per ml, so ml will get cancelled, we'll get 10 d grams. Okay? But if I don't want to talk about grams also, I am talking about moles. So what should I do? This is 10 d grams. I can simply divide it by 36.5. Why 36.5? Because hydrogen 1, chlorine 35.5, making it a total of 36.5 grams per mole. So gram will get cancelled and you will finally get the answer 10d to be divided by 36.5 moles. And if you solve it, the answer will be something 0.273 d moles. Okay? So how many moles of HCl are there? 0.273. Okay, point number 1, I am noting it down. Let's move further. Now the same thing, I am removing this because now I have to move with NaOH. So when I am moving with NaOH, which is 10% V by V, so 100 ml of, writing instead of HCl, can I simply say NaOH solution? Here also instead of HCl, we can say NaOH, which is 10 ml. Now 10 ml into density, it's not d grams per ml, this time it is 1.5 d grams per ml, right? So per ml will again get cancelled. Now 1.5 into 10 will become something 15d. Okay, so if I don't want to talk in the terms of, let's say, grams, I want to talk in the terms of number of moles. So I will divide it by the molar mass of NaOH, which is what? 23 plus 16 plus 1. You do the calculation, the molar mass will come out to be 40 grams per mole. So this will get cancelled and the final answer will be coming out to be, okay, this was not 10. Let's rewrite it so that we do not get confused. So finally we'll be getting the number of moles as 15d grams to be divided by 40 grams per mole, right? And this gram will get cancelled. You'll get 0.375d moles, right? Now moving on, can I write the number of moles of NaOH? Am I right? So guys, finally we have obtained the total number of moles of HCl and the total number of moles of NaOH. Which is more in amount, by the way? NaOH, right? And the volume was same. So don't you think when you mix the two, 0.273 d moles of HCl will combine with 0.273 d moles of NaOH, and the remaining NaOH will be left out. And because of the remaining amount of NaOH, the final solution will turn out to be basic in nature, right? Okay, so this was a pretty good question that you should have done properly. So this was the question now. Having done with question number 8 also, I think we can now proceed on to question number 9. By the time, let me prepare the board for you. Okay, so done with question 8, and I am now gonna write question number 9. So guys, question number 9 says that given the abundances of isotopes of iron, we have iron and the abundances are iron 54 is given to us, we have iron 56 given to us, and we have iron 57 given to us, and the percentages are 5%, 90% and 5%, right? So I am asking you to simply find out the average atomic mass of iron. So that's very simple. What you'll do, you will say, ma'am, let's start writing down 54 into 5 divided by 100 plus, so if you solve it, this will come out to be something 270 plus 56 into 90 to be divided by 100. I'm so sorry, it should be a factor of 100, right? Like this, 54 into 5 by 100, 56 into 90 by 100. And if you solve it, this will come out to be 5040 plus, again what will I write? 57 into 5 to be divided by 100, which will come out to be something around 285. Now 100 is common, so I'll just write 100 in the denominator. And guys, if you solve it, you will finally get the answer around 55.95. Okay. Now guys, see, since the maximum percentage was there with iron 56, so the answer will be found to be very close to 56, and hence the answer was 55.95. Okay, this was a pretty simple question and the calculations were also very easy. Having done with the 9th question, now we can proceed with the 10th question as well. Okay. So guys, option number B was the correct option. I forgot to mark here. Oh my god. So finally coming on to the 10th question, which is the last question of JEE Mains exercise. The question is 100 ml of 30% weight by volume NaOH solution. NaOH to be taken in a dabba, which is written as 100 ml 30% W by V. This is gonna be mixed with 100 ml of 90% W by V NaOH. Oh my god, so another NaOH solution is there. So this is second NaOH solution. You need to find out the molarity of the final solution. Now guys, see, this question is little different from the very first or second question that we have done in today's lecture. Right? There it was percentage V by V, or it was percentage W by W. But here it is percentage W by V. Okay? Let's see what is done. So guys, if I am given 30% W by V, can I simply say 100 ml of solution has NaOH how much? 30. So 30 grams. Okay? Solution number 1. If I talk about the second solution, which is 90%, so again can I say 100 ml of solution. Here you can write 1, here you can write 2. Has how much NaOH? 90 grams. Right? Guys, the two solutions might be having different amount of NaOH, but that doesn't mean that NaOH is different. NaOH in this equation and this solution, I mean in both the solutions NaOH is same, right? So the total mass of NaOH will be 90 plus 30, which will be, mass of NaOH will be 90 plus 30, 120 grams. Am I right? So the number of moles will be 120 grams to be divided by 40 grams per mole, which will be 3 moles. Am I right? Now what will be the final volume of the solution? Final volume of the solution will be 100 plus 100, which is 200 ml, right? And I need to find out what will be the total molarity of the final solution. So final solution will be having the molarity, listen carefully, molarity will be total number of moles, which is 3, which is to be divided by volume of solution in liter. (200 by 1000 liters). So this 5 threes are 15 capital M, which is 15 molar. Let's see, 1.3, no. Finally 13, no. 1 by 5, no. 15, awesome. Right? So guys, finally these were all the 10 questions which I have taken from JEE Mains exercise. And I thought of discussing all these questions in as much detail, the solution with you as possible, right? And I hope I was up to the level which I promised in the last lecture, right? So with this thing, I would like to take a break and we'll be meeting in my next lecture. By the time, I want you to take care and be happy, and lots of studies should be done. Okay then, bye-bye.